First-person shooters have a tendency to stick to a certain setting, and they do it collectively. For the longest time, the vast majority of shooters were set in World War II, then Call of Duty 4 ushered in the age of modern warfare games. These days, everything is focused on the future, whether it's near future or far-flung future, but there are always exceptions to the rule, odd games that try a unique setting, like Call of Juarez Bound in Blood's post-Civil War Western. It's always been a bit strange how rare the Western is in the game space. Even this series of games would eventually abandon it with the god-awful Call of Juarez the Cartel. The setting can make for fast shooting and even faster dialogue, seemingly a perfect setting for most video games, but so rarely executed on well. And Bound in Blood nails at least half of that formula. Much like its standalone sequel, Gunslinger, Bound in Blood weaves the Western aesthetic seamlessly into its gunplay and other game mechanics, whether it's dueling the local sheriff or pulling off trick shots with your revolver. For most of the game, you can choose between two brothers, one who specializes in rifles and the other who specializes in handguns. Plus, they have different special abilities that slightly modify how you play through each level. Nothing particularly groundbreaking or worth playing through the level again, but a neat idea. It has this weird feeling like the developers may have initially wanted to make the campaign co-op, but never got around to it. But while its sequel, Gunslinger, is a digestible morsel that doesn't overstay its welcome, Bound in Blood pushes it a little bit. It's not particularly long at about 8 hours, but its mechanics get a bit tired in that time, without any real iteration beyond the first hour or so. And the story doesn't really do much to help keep things fresh. Because while the shooting's pretty solid, and the small additions they've made help to make it pretty fun, basically anything that isn't shooting, whether it's the dull and generic storytelling, the cringeworthy voice acting, or all the peripheral mechanics that feel tacked on and kinda shitty. They've got things from mounting horses to using lassos, the normal Western things, but they use those gimmicks far too often, and the game's real strength lies in its shooting. Thankfully, most of the game is exactly that, just shooting everyone that gets in your way. Bound in Blood is the video game equivalent of an action movie. A damn good action movie with a decent, if rote plot and subpar but passable acting. A fine summer blockbuster of a game, on par with the campaign of an annual Call of Duty entry with a little less bombast. And sometimes, that's all you need, a game to just unwind with, nothing particularly difficult or engaging. It certainly helps that Bound in Blood is also a break from the futuristic settings of most shooters these days, but the mechanics themselves hold up well enough to make it a highly enjoyable ride. Every Friday, I look at a game that was either ignored when it came out or has been forgotten since. If you like that idea, be sure to subscribe so you can see the latest videos. If you like this video in particular, be sure to hit that like button, and thanks for watching.